Would you go to your cousin's wedding if you weren't invited? This is one of those questions that make you really think about your answer. You can start off by saying no, but then you might think about how important this event is for the people involved, and maybe you'd change your mind. And if you do decide to go, would you show up alone or bring your husband along? Well, he wouldn't be able to come anyway because he wasn't even invited. My husband was left off the guest list, and I was given two options, either to go to the wedding alone or not go at all. It seems like there's nothing to think about, but trust me, things aren't always what they seem. When my cousin told me she was getting married, I was over the moon excited for her. She looked stunning in her dress, and we took plenty of pictures together. Of course, I couldn't wait to tell my husband. He was just as happy as I was, but when his face fell as he looked at the wedding invitations, I knew why. He has a big heart and isn't good with changes to his schedule, which is why he preferred not to attend weddings and other crowded events. The thing was, even though he knew there were going to be some family issues, he still wanted to go for my sake. Now, before I go any further, let me explain. My cousin and I were really close growing up, so much so that we were practically sisters. We knew everything about each other, our likes, dislikes, secrets, and dreams. But after we got married, we started growing apart because we had different priorities. When I learned that she was getting married again, I was happy for her, but also thought it would be a great chance for us to get closer again. I thought we could finally talk about all the things we hadn't talked about for years, but I had no idea what was coming. My husband's name is Ben, and he's the most caring man I know. He loves me more than anything, and would do anything for me. So when I saw the disappointment in his eyes after reading the invitation, I felt bad. I pulled him aside and asked him if he really didn't want to go. But instead of answering, he asked me something else. Broke my heart because I realized he was giving up his own happiness to make sure I didn't feel bad. He was trying to put my feelings first, even though I never asked him to do anything like that. I wish I could have done the same for him, but I didn't. You see, my cousin had always been a little selfish, but I thought that by now she would have grown out of it. I called her and told her about Ben's reaction to the invitation. I thought maybe she'd understand and offer us another one, maybe as a couple. But instead, she started yelling at me. She said that I was being ridiculous and that she only had a limited number of invitations. She didn't want to waste them on Ben because he wasn't family. I don't think she realized how much hurt she was causing me. All I could think about was how many pictures I would miss out on. And as soon as she hung up, I started crying. I felt like I had lost my best friend. Then I heard a knock on the door, and when I opened it, I saw Ben standing there holding a bouquet of flowers. I knew he'd been listening and felt terrible because he'd probably heard the whole thing. I invited him in, but he didn't say a word. He just sat down on the couch, looked at me, and told me to be honest. He said he deserved to know the truth. I hesitated for a moment, but then I told him exactly what my cousin had said. I was ashamed, embarrassed, angry, and confused. I just didn't know what to do. I mean, we both did. Ben didn't react the way I expected. Instead of comforting me, he told me to go to the wedding, but to go alone. I was shocked. Was he serious? I mean, I knew he wanted me to be happy, but this was too much. I tried to explain to him that I didn't want to go without him and that my cousin had been really rude, but he stopped me right there. He said that I had to do what I had to do and that I couldn't let my cousin ruin my night. I didn't believe him, but then he gave me a small smile, stood up and said, "I love you." I felt like I was about to lose him forever. I told him I loved him too, and that's when he left. After he went out the door, I ran to the bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror. My makeup was running down my face and I looked awful. I took a deep breath and tried to calm myself down. I told myself that it was going to be all right, but I knew I was lying. There was no way I was going to be okay. I felt so lonely and abandoned. I wish Ben had stayed with me. But maybe he was doing that on purpose. Maybe he was doing that so I wouldn't feel so bad when I went to the wedding. But I didn't know that then. So I called my cousin again. She answered the phone on the third ring and I could hear the excitement in her voice. "Hey," I said. I need to talk to you." "What is it?" she asked. I hesitated for a moment, but then I told her about Ben. "Oh, so sorry," she said. "But you know I only have so many invitations and he's not family, so he won't be welcome. But who will take care of you on your special day?" I asked. "I'll manage," she said. "Don't worry about it. Now, can I call you back? I'm getting ready." "Sure," I said, and that's when I hung up the phone. Now I knew my cousin was wrong. She didn't want me to bring my husband because she was afraid I'd steal the spotlight from her. But the question is, how could I prove it? That's when I came up with a plan. It was risky, but it was my only chance. I wasn't going to let her ruin my marriage. I was ready to fight for my husband and our relationship, even if it meant going against my own cousin. I didn't know what the future held, but I was determined to make it work. And that's where I'm going to end this video. But before I go, let me ask you a question. Would you stand up for your spouse if someone tried to take them away from you? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I can't wait to read them. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.